Hey folks, Vic here with your weekly trade video for Friday, September the 19th of 2025. In today's video, I'm going to show you once again the power of focusing on just one single pattern, our swing break pattern. This trade that you're going to see is on the US Canadian dollar pair. Darko pointed it out live in the chat room. Last week you saw it in action on the US yen pair, and that trade is still going on, doing very nicely. This time, Darko called out another trade, as I say, live in the chat room. Many of our members jumped in on it. And, you know, this is exactly why we've narrowed our teaching to just this one setup, because it's the fastest way to help you get consistent results. By the way, I want to just point out something. If you have not listened to our latest podcast episode 71, make sure you do. Darko did an interview with one of our members, and it is really a great interview. I hope you take the time to listen to it. And just a final reminder, if you want to see the details of how these trades set up, join our free webinar on September the 24th. There's a link in the description below this video or in the email that you received. Okay, let's take a look at this US Canadian dollar trade, which by the way is now up over a 2-to-1 reward to risk. Okay, folks, let's go over this trade. It was a US Canadian dollar pair, and it's a kind of a very interesting trade. And this is one of the nice things about the chat room that we have. It's not like, especially for long-term trading, or for any trading for that matter, you don't have to sit there, you know, glued to your screen looking at a chat room by any means. That's not at all what it's for. It's just for communication among members, and then once in a while we will post something that we see. Darko, in this case, posted what he saw on the US Canadian dollar pair, and let's have a look at it. First of all, he starts off with a yearly chart, and then he goes to a monthly chart. Here's a monthly chart, and you see all of these resistance levels here. Like, that's quite significant, and then price went below it, came and retested it, and this is the first thing that got his attention here. You see, when you're starting out, or you're still struggling, you're not going to notice stuff like this, and that's okay. This is what we teach, and it's, after a while, it'll become quite apparent to you what he does, and before he even shows it to you, you'll have an idea what's going to happen. And here was that level right here, and price came back up to it. I've got this low marked here for now. We'll watch that. But you see this rejection candle here on the weekly chart. This is not a tick chart. This is a weekly chart. This is big rejection. It goes down. So now he's starting to look for the possibility of a selling opportunity. Now, the other thing that happened is that he actually, this same level that we just saw on the monthly chart and the weekly chart is also on the daily chart, right? So that means when we have a daily level, we can actually drop down to our 1 hour chart for the entry time frame. Okay, if you don't have anything else and you just have a weekly level being hit, then we use our 4 hour chart. That's what we use for swing trading. But this becomes now a day trade. What we call a day trade anyway, and maybe people have different definitions for it, but what it means is that we can use our 1 hour chart for entry. There's still lots and lots of time to get into the trade. It's not a big panic, no big rush. And when Darko looked at the, just 1 second. Sorry, I had to pause the recording there for a second. My doorbell was ringing away here. But anyway, as I was saying, because we're at a daily level, we can go to our hourly chart and look for our pattern. Now remember, we just trade one pattern. It's the swing break pattern. And if you go to our hourly chart, that is this one. This is 4 hour. But if I go to one hour chart when it hit here, do you see the pattern in action here? Look at this. Price goes up, down, goes up, and then a huge drop. This is where we saw that big weekly candle. And it then rallies up. This was the entry right here. Okay, just slightly above this level right here. Darko posted it in the chat room, exactly what he was doing, and Darko does not use any indicators at all. I do once in a while. This is a MACD on the bottom here, and what you notice sometimes is that, and this is not necessary for your trading, but see how price is going higher here on the peaks. At the same time, the peaks here are going down. This peak here is higher than this peak, but up here, this peak is lower than this peak. That's called divergence. When it breaks below here, bingo. That's our sign to get ready to take a trade. And then Darko posted that way ahead of time. Lots of members took it, And this is the result so far. It needed a stop of about 55 pips, I believe. This trade right now, I can tell you right now, let's just measure it as I'm sitting here, has been up about 95 pips, just about 2 to 1. He's also posted in the room, like he'll give little hints about trade management while you're in the trade. You know, hey, time to get the risk out of the trade or reduce the risk, and then, oh, you're up 1 to 1 on the trade. Okay, so take some profit, and or at least get the risk out of the trade, etc. And then there'll be final targets on the way down. But the point I wanted to make with this here is that, like, you know, if you're starting to learn, it's really helpful to have somebody pointing this stuff out to you in real time, not after it's all happened and, oh, you could have sold here, you could have done this. Even though the rules are very objective, you could show them later because either it's a trade or it's not. But in this case, you know, he went right into the chat room, posted the trade for everybody to see. Here's where I'm going to be selling at, and then this is the result right here. Keep in mind, we have a webinar coming up. I mentioned this in the introduction. I'll just say it again here. Just register for it. Come in and have a look, and you know, it's free. You don't have to. We're not going to hound you afterwards and say, hey, you know, come and join our service. No, it's up to you. Like, I would just come and have a look, check us out, see what you think. This pattern works on any time frame. If you want to be a scalper, if you want to be a micro scalper, this works really good. We have a guy in our short-term trading that has been like really successful. Yes, he has not had a losing month of trading all year with his micro scalping. So, you know, I mean, everybody's going to have different results too. I don't want to make it sound like everybody's going to have, you know, big winning months, but he's more experienced, so he's able to pick these out quite well. So anyway, I hope that's helpful, and we'll leave it at that. But again, that's just another example of the one pattern that we are now focusing on. That's all we're doing. And this one's set up quite nicely on the US Canadian dollar pair. By the way, one more thing I should mention. I'm recording this on a Monday. And the reason I'm doing this is because on Wednesday, so it's Monday evening here in the West Coast, the Pacific time zone. And on Wednesday, we have an FOMC rate release coming out. It's expected that we're going to be you know, easing off on the rates and all that kind of thing. We'll see what happens. There's lots of anticipation about what Powell's going to do versus what maybe the U.S. administration would like to see happen. But you know, at this point, they're calling for a 75 basis, pardon me, a 25 basis point cut, which should soften the U.S. dollar, which means this could go down more. However, keep in mind, very often these numbers are already priced in ahead of time. But in any event, being short the U.S. dollar right now is a good thing, and we'll see what happens. You guys can keep an eye on it when the rate release does come out and see what happens with this pair. So as you just saw, this pattern works again and again and again when you know how to spot it. And if you want to learn how to spot it, I'll remind you once more that on September the 24th, we're holding a live webinar where Darko will break down this pattern in detail, step by step. And this could absolutely change the way that you trade for the better. Okay, so don't miss it. Click the link in the description or in the email that you received. And if you can't attend live, no worries. Register anyway. We will send you the full recording. Okay? Hope to see you there. Have a great weekend.